Hey y'all. Hi. So today's video is just this. I placed an order from Sephora, and it is both the first order that I've placed from Sephora in the year of 2021, and I just realized when I sat down to do this, the first time I've actually bought makeup for myself, like with my own budget. The first time I've been like, I want that for myself, and spent my own personal money on it in the year of 2021. There've been a couple times in the year so far when I've used my YouTube channel's budget to buy some makeup for review. So there has been some makeup coming into my life and I've been showing it on camera and talking about it. But this is the first time I've just bought makeup for myself that I wanted, that I feel like I would have been buying in any case. So I'm just gonna go through the things and show them to you and talk about them. The things that I had never tried before. Actually, it's a lot of stuff that I'd never tried before, but several things are replacements of one kind or another. And so I'm gonna talk through my decision-making process around these replacements. And then there's really just one item of makeup that I bought totally for myself. And then there's one thing that I bought pretty much for review on my channel. And so it's like a whole variety, a plethora of different kinds of items that came in this box. We're gonna go through it together and it's gonna be a blast. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I'm Hannah and I love beautiful things and I love beauty. And I guess I feel like loving beauty and loving makeup doesn't have to go hand in hand with mindless consumerism. And so that means that the goal is mindful consumerism. And in fact, this video is kind of emblematic of the way in which I'm trying to forge that path for myself and the way that I'm trying to talk about it on my channel. So if that sounds good to you, then please subscribe. Now let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. Okay, the things. I'm gonna take them out one by one and just put them in front of me and go through and tell you about them one by one. This was essentially a replacements order for me. I actually only placed the order because I needed to replace some things that I depend on. And a number of the things that I depend on, I had run out of them, but I was planning to just wait and make it through until April and then place this order within my technical little shopping season, because I'm doing this seasonal budgeting this year. I'm only really shopping for this kind of thing during 4 separate weeks that are spread throughout the year. And then in between, I'm not shopping for this kind of thing. But one of the things that I ran out of just last week is something that I really do depend on, like really to keep my skin healthy, to cleanse my skin, to cleanse my face. And that's a cleansing balm or a cleansing oil, like a first step. I was using a cleansing oil. I actually didn't realize that it was the last one that I had, that I didn't have like anything else that I could use to cut through my mascara and the makeup on my face and emulsify that in advance of using a more mild second cleanser. But when I ran out of that cleansing oil, I was like, okay, now I really actually do need to buy something to replace this. I can't make it until April without this. And so I started doing research and I found the one that I wanted to buy, which is the one that I ended up buying. It happened to be at Sephora. And I was like, I definitely don't want to place an order just for this. And then like a week and a half from now, when it's technically my shopping season, place another order for the rest of my replacements and for the makeup item that I know that I want to buy. I care so much more about only placing one order, only getting one box in the mail, only going through the whole rigmarole of like putting things in my cart and checking out and feeling all the feelings and getting excited and like dealing with the dopamine rush from getting a package in the mail. Like I care a lot about only putting myself through that one time within maybe this entire year, but at least within like the first half of the year. I care more about only putting myself through that one time than I care about waiting this last week until my technical shopping season to buy like the lip gloss that I bought. You know what I mean? Because I knew that I was going to buy it. So I just went ahead and like did it because I needed this. This is really exciting. It's from the Inky List. I have not tried anything from them before. There was kind of some excitement around the Inky List when it first released. It's a very affordable ingredients-based skincare brand, similar to The Ordinary. By the time it released, I had really gotten off of the like try everything new, always try the newest skincare train. And so I also had kind of gotten off of the shopping at Sephora train. So I've never had occasion to try anything, but this is my absolute dream cleansing balm. It fits cleansing, not even just balm, but first cleanse. if I had never seen this and you asked me to design like the perfect cleansing product, like first cleanse, oil cleanse, cleansing product, this is what I would have said. I would have said, I want it to be a balm consistency, because when it's a thin oil consistency, I tend to go through it very quickly. Like the more viscous it is, the more stiff it is. I feel like the easier it is for me to only squeeze out or to only pump out the amount that I need. With cleansing oils, they tend to be like pump, pump, pump. And then by volume, I've like ended up using more than I would have used by volume if it were a thicker consistency. So I would have said I want it to be a balm consistency, but I don't want it to be in a jar, because jars are messier, they're less sanitary, water can get in them if you're using them in the shower, which I do with my cleansing balms. Also, when a balm is in a jar like that, it counteracts what I just said. When a balm is in a jar, I tend to take a really big handful. It's hard for me to use the appropriate amount. I tend to use way more than I need every time I use it when it's in the jar, and then I go through it really quickly. So liquid oils in a pump, I tend to go through them more quickly than I should. Solid balms in a jar, I tend to go through them more quickly than I should. So the dream product for me is a solid balm style oil cleanse, but in a pump or a squeeze tube or some other kind of container, and with a dispensing mechanism that allows me to moderate more easily. So that would have been my first priority. I would have said, I want it to be in this form, a balm in a squeeze tube. I would have said, I want it to have really simple, effective ingredients, like a pretty short ingredients list. Definitely not any of that stuff that makes it feel kind of slippery or slick, or like leaves a film on the skin. I want it to go on thick like a balm, emulsify my makeup, and then emulsify completely with water and wash away and leave behind clean skin and clean feeling skin. That's what I would have said about the formula. And then lastly, I would have said, and I want it to be in a big tube, like not an eeny weeny little tube, not like a little 2 ounce or 2.5 ounce jar or tube, but like a big hulking tube of it. And I want it to be cheap, like a lot of it. And I want it to be inexpensive. That's what I would have described to you. And this checks every single one of those boxes, and I have never seen that. I have never found a cleansing balm that checks every single one of those boxes. So I was over the moon when I saw it on Sephora. I ordered it. I can't remember where's my thing? Yeah, that is what I thought. It's $10. It's $9.99. And it is a 150 milliliter package. So it's 5 ounces. I believe that a standard jar, like if you imagine in your mind, like a jar of cleansing balm, like the standard jar of cleansing balm, I think that they're usually 100 milliliters. They're usually 2.5 ounces, I believe. In any case, I feel like this is definitely on the large side for a container of cleansing balm, if not the largest one, like the biggest container of cleansing balm that I've ever had. And, it's on the inexpensive side for sure. I've only tried it once. That was last night, and it works beautifully. It dispenses beautifully. It does its job really well. It washes away, it leaves the clean feeling on the skin that I desire. Of course, I can't review right now. I can't give you the full review in terms of like how it performs over time, if anything goes wrong with the packaging over time, if it breaks me out, but I don't think that it will, because the ingredients are pretty mild. I think it's going to be great. So this was the catalyst for the entire order. And then of course, as long as I was placing the order, I was definitely going to replace my green color corrector. This I ran out of like a long time ago, like probably at the beginning of this no-buy season. And again, within the loose rules or like the general guidelines that I've set for myself about how I want to spend on beauty this year, it would have been completely sanctioned for me to just buy this and replace it, because this is a staple item for me, green color corrector. And not only had I run out of this one, but I didn't have any other ones. But I decided to wait. I decided to just make it without it. I think that that's often a good policy. Our instinct, when beauty lovers or just users of any kind of self-care product, when we run out of the thing that has become our like thing that we always use and love, there tends to be this really intense panic of like, I have to replace it right away. Like I cannot live without it. I have to do it right away. And not only is that not true, because you lived without it before, you know what I mean? Like I got by perfectly fine. I do feel like my makeup wasn't as easy to do as it would have been if I had immediately replaced this for the past, couple of months. It wasn't. It probably didn't look quite as good as it would have looked if I had had this, but by just a little margin, just little margins, and I was perfectly fine. And I feel like it's worth it to pay that price to just relearn the lesson that you don't have to buy stuff all the time and you don't have to constantly be buying stuff. You don't have to constantly be replacing stuff. I am really glad that I ended up waiting so that I could consolidate everything. And I have no regrets about the fact that I went without this for the length of time that I went without it. And now that I have it again, I'm really, really excited. And I feel like my joy about it is much, much more. I feel more pleased to have purchased it than I would have if I had just replaced it right away, because I would have gone straight from having it to having it again. And it would have just felt like I'm entitled to this. I always have this. I'm just sliding a new one right into the slot that the old one left. Sure, it would have been logical to do that and it would have been fine. But this way, because I've been without it for so long, it feels better than new. It feels even better than when you get something brand new. It feels like the best of the best because I've missed it. I finally have it back. I was so excited to do my makeup with it this morning. I know that I'm going to love it. So there's none of that questioning and waiting to see and worry that it will let you down that comes with trying something that's absolutely brand new. And usually I think that getting something new tends to be more exciting than replacing something old with itself, replacing something with the same thing. But because I waited, I feel like this replacement is more exciting than getting something new. And that's pretty special too. It's also a very inexpensive item, a budget item. I think it's something like $15, $14. And I'm very glad that it was back in stock. It keeps going in and out of stock. I can't tell if they're repackaging, reformulating, or what, but I'm glad that I was able to snag it. When I placed this order, I had very recently run out of my other super staple skincare or not skincare, but makeup, base makeup, daily base makeup product, which is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. So I put this in the cart as well. It's something that, again, I'll always continue to, I can't say that, of course not always continue to repurchase, but that I don't feel compelled to shop around for a different concealer right now. I know that this one works beautifully for me, and it was a way better choice for me to just buy this again when I ran out of the other one than it would have been to go on a hunt and try a bunch of different new concealers. The two best things about this for me are, one, the shade range goes very, very light. In fact, in this, the lightest shade is too light for me. And I take the second lightest shade, which is shade 11. It's called Pearl. It's a little bit more yellow and just a little bit more the tone of my skin than the lightest one, which is very, very neutral and very, very bright white, almost actually the color white. So that's fantastic because I know that there are people who are more pale even than I am, but I can almost never find complexion products that are light enough for me. The other thing that's great about this is that it's a very skin-like finish. Very, very, very. It almost never really looks like makeup on the skin. And that's what I require of my base products. Also, over the past couple of weeks, I ran out of body soap. And we have been using for the past it's probably over a year at this point, the ultra huge value size bottle of Bioderma body wash. The one that I really like is the oil. It's Bioderma. What is the name of it? It's called Atoderm. Bioderma Atoderm. It's a sensitive skin body wash. So they make it in, I think, 3 formulas. There's an oil wash, there's a cream version, and then there's a gel version. The gel one doesn't have the best reviews. I think I remember people saying that it was not quite as rich and nourishing as the other two, kind of drying perhaps. So I don't really want to try that one. The oil wash I've tried. I think I have either I had purchased a whole full size and we went through it. And when I say we, I mean Joe and me. And then instead of repurchasing it this most recent time, which was months ago because it's huge and it lasts forever, I got the cream version because I just wanted to try it because I was curious. And the cream version was good, but next time I have an occasion to buy that, I'll buy the oil one again. If it weren't this thing where I'm really trying to minimize the number of packages that I get in the mail, I would have bought it again. It's my body wash of choice. The price is fantastic for the amount that you get. It's, very simple and non-irritating to the skin. I like the smell. I like that it's in a big pump bottle so you can dispense it easily in the shower. It's just absolutely perfect, and I'll be happy to continue chain buying that. But because I was already placing this order from Sephora, I decided to just find the most body wash that I could get for my money from Sephora and go ahead and add it in to prevent myself from having to go and place a separate order either from Beautylish or from Amazon or from one of these other sources because they don't sell Bioderma, Atoderm at Sephora. I went to the body wash list or like the body soap list and I just sorted it by least expensive. And then I sorted through the minis that were at the top and I started to come to the full size body wash products that are the least expensive, like on the low end at Sephora. And then I started looking at like how much was in each one because something's only inexpensive if it's inexpensive per ounce. And I was looking, they were showing up all in like the $15, $20 range, which is a little more than I would have liked to spend on a body wash this size. But as I was saying, I just wanted to like take care of all of my replacements in one swell foop. And I was kind of curious about this when it came up. I didn't know that Capri Blue had started making self-care products. This is a Capri Blue body wash in Volcano, which is the like super iconic Capri Blue scent. And I fell really in love with that Volcano candle forever ago. I think it was probably like 21. They're expensive candles and it's not like I could buy them all the time. It's not like I always had a Capri Blue Volcano candle burning, but every once in a while for those couple of years in my early to mid 20s, maybe like once or twice a year, I would treat myself to it, buy it and burn it. And it's like a warm spiced citrus smell, like sweet sugared citrus. And it's a smell that's very evocative to me of that time in my life. And for that reason, I wasn't entirely sure that I would like having this because sometimes scent memories are so strong and I don't sometimes like going back to scents that I used to love because it doesn't always feel good to be like thrust that far into your own past with your sense memories. So sometimes even if I really love a perfume, if I use it and use it and use it, then eventually I feel like I have to leave it behind and stop using it because if I use it again, it will just remind me too much of like the person that I used to be. So I wasn't totally sure about this. And indeed, smelling it is very evocative of that time. But, at least I'll use this up and then I'll see. Maybe my feelings about it will change or maybe it'll have like a second wave of life in my life. At the very least, I knew that I would really like the smell because it's a smell with which I'm familiar. And I was curious about how they would have translated that smell to a different type of product. And I've again used this only once. I used it last night and I'll say it's a perfectly nice body wash. It cleansed me. It is a nice smell. The scent is pretty heavy, like the shower was filled with the scent of Capri Blue Volcano. One of the funny things about it though is that I feel like they might have added a little bit of smoke scent to this because it doesn't just smell like the scent that's in the candle. It smells like the candle burning. It has like that edge of char to it. I both like and don't like that. Like I like how realistic it is. And then part of me is like, it feels a little bit like when you add liquid smoke to a barbecue sauce and it's just like that fake smoke. Jury's still out. The jury's still out. What I'm saying is that I know that this will be good enough for me to use it. Like I'll be able to use it as a body soap and it will last me quite a while and that's great. It wasn't inexpensive because it was from Sephora, but it was inexpensive for what's at Sephora. I think it might have been $18 for the 360 milliliters. Yeah, $18 for 12 ounces. And I was seeing stuff on there like around the same price point. It was more like $20 or $25 for 10 ounces. So this was definitely like the budget option in terms of what was available. And it's going to be perfectly fine. I will give my final answer, my full review when this makes it into my empties. Okay, so those were the 4 replacements. Those were the things for which I was really placing the order. But then again, because I knew that I was going to buy this item eventually, and I knew that it was going to be pretty soon, like I knew I was going to buy it at the beginning of April, I went ahead and put it into the cart, and I am going to go ahead and take the money out of my April budget for this. It's 2 colors of the Tower 28 jelly shine on lip jelly. One is the milky jelly and one is just the regular jelly. I have been feeling like there's only really one place in my makeup collection where I wish I had more of this kind of thing. And it is products that are like a cross between a lip treatment and a makeup product. So something that's really nourishing for the lips. You feel like you can just slather it on and slather it on. It feels really good and it looks really good. And it doesn't look too much like makeup. And for me, it's actually important that it doesn't darken my lips too much, like it's not too dark of a color, because I'm so pale that even a sheer product, if it's got quite a lot of pigment in it, will really make me look like I'm wearing makeup on my lips. And I was looking for products like this that I could easily wear on totally no makeup days. Like even when my skin is really bare and you can like see my acne and I'm not wearing any mascara and I really don't look like I'm in any way put together, that I could still put a product like this on my lips and it wouldn't be incongruous with that. But that it could also translate to days when I have more makeup on and I want something kind of like natural, but a little bit glossy and gleamy and glamorous on my lips. I have a couple of lip treatment products right now, like one stick, chapsticky type balm and one lip mask that's with a doe foot. And both of them look very treatment on the lips. Like neither one of them edges really into the arena of makeup. And then I have a couple of more makeup-y type products, lip glosses that are somewhat nourishing, but most of them, like I was saying, darken the lips. They're like too dark of a color, too much pigment in them. So they look too much like makeup and I find myself not wanting to reach for them on those no makeup days. So I was looking for something that would be right in between. And the product that was sort of my inspiration is actually, let me get it. This is the Flower Beauty CBD Chill Out Lip Glaze. And this was sent to me in PR by Flower Beauty. And I love the formula. It's like very slick and jelly-like. I don't even think I've ever loved a lip gloss formula more than this. I absolutely love it. But this is very pink. And it really, even though it's semi-sheer, it really is pink. Like when I put it on, I look like I'm wearing a pink lip product. It is too much of a color, it's too much makeup. So what I've been really wishing for is this, but in a more sheer, more natural color, or in a lighter color, a more milky color, more natural color, something that I could wear on no makeup days. The Flower Beauty one doesn't really come in very many colors and most of them are kind of bright. And Flower Beauty obviously isn't sold at Sephora. If it were, I might have gone ahead and put this in like a clear into my cart because really what I want is this in another color. But because I was shopping at Sephora for my replacements and because many of you have told me that what I'm describing this formula as, it sounds exactly like the Tower Beauty ones and the packaging is exactly the same. I mean, it is the same. It's the same component. Like it is, I'm not saying it looks the same. It is the same. Like they got them from the same factory. So for all of these reasons, I decided to get the Tower 28 lip jelly, Shine On lip jelly. And I felt, I actually wouldn't say I felt so confident that I was going to love it that I got two colors. I had enough hope. I felt optimistic enough that I was going to love it based on all of the reviews that I had seen, how kind of aligned my tastes are with the tastes of many people who I've seen go bananas over this product, and based on my experience with this one from Flower Beauty. Based on all of that, I was willing to take the risk of getting two, even though I had never tried it before, because I really like the promises of both of these colors for different reasons. But the other thing about these is that they're pretty inexpensive for Sephora. They're $14, and so at worst I was taking a $30 risk. And at this point, I'm okay with that, with my own budget spending, given that this is the only makeup that I've purchased for myself all year, and that I know that my budgeting is going well, so I don't feel this stranglehold on my decision-making process like I used to back when I knew that I was overspending and that there was all of this guilt there underneath all of my spending. So I felt like every decision that I made was like on a razor's edge because I had to be able to justify it to myself as having been an amazing choice or an amazing decision to make it worth it in spite of all that guilt and in spite of my deep knowledge that the behavior was bad. I'm so far from that now that I'm like, it's fine. Like even if I get two and I don't like either of them, it's okay because I can just keep using the other ones that I have. I'm not like gonna end up spiraling down and spending $200 on all different kinds of lip gloss because of this. Like, it's the worst thing that can happen, I feel like, to me. And I'm talking about all of it, like logistical, emotional, financial. The worst thing is that I'm out $30 and I feel fine about it because I know that I have a new ability to moderate, and I am enacting that, and I am moderating. So I went ahead and allowed myself to get both of them. It's actually wild because I don't like them as much as I thought that I was going to. I don't feel like the formula is exactly the same as the Flower Beauty one. I actually don't think it's exactly the same. I feel like it's a little bit stickier. The thing that's great about the Flower Beauty one is that it's so slick and jelly-like that I can put it on and I never pop. My mouth never does it like pop, pop. But this, I'm wearing the one called Magic, which is sheer with gold glitter. I'm wearing it today and I do feel like my lips have been kind of like pop, pop, popping as I've filmed this video. So I actually don't think that the formula is an exact dupe. It's pretty similar, but I don't think it's an exact dupe. I also don't really like the smell. The Flower Beauty one truly has no smell. Like, it is scentless. And the Tower 28 one, it feels like it's trying to smell faintly of coconut, like ever so faintly of coconut, but that the coconut scent is very artificial and it doesn't do much to mask whatever other scent is in there. I would prefer it to either be completely scentless or to have a scent that I prefer, like a vanilla scent or something. I don't really like you know what it makes me think of? You know how my friend Lauren of Lauren May Beauty has always described the scent of the Too Faced Hangover RX spray as being medical coconut? This is, to me, medical coconut. It smells like medical coconut to me. So I don't really love that. It's not repulsive. Like, I'm going to continue to use this one because I really do like the effect. In terms of the combination of nourishing and natural looking, but also kind of makeup-y, in terms of like formula and effect and look and the feeling of applying it, this one is knocked it out of the park. The one called Magic, which is, again, the one with fine gold glitter. I feel like it looks very natural, but it looks really shiny. It's gonna look great without makeup. It's gonna look great with makeup. I'm definitely gonna keep using this. I really, really, really love it. And I'm super glad that I got it. I really am super glad. I'm not obsessed with it on every count. Like, if it were the same color, but it were the flower formula, then I would be obsessed with it on every count. I feel a little bit about it because of the smell and the slight popping, but I'm glad that I got it. I would buy it again. But this one, which is the one called Oat, it's the milky one. It's not what I expect. I knew that this was a risk because I was worried that the pale color, the combination of it being pale and being kind of milky, was going to sit funny on my lips. And it actually doesn't sit that funny on my lips, like on top of my actual lip skin. But it's more, the pigment is darker and peachier than I expected it to be. All of the pictures made me think that it was going to be kind of like, I even feel like it looks really pale in the monitor there. Like, it's going to look really pale to you, but it's just darker than I thought. Maybe you can see it. Maybe that swatch will kind of give you the idea. It's darker and it's more of a peach. It's more of a peach than it is like a pale, milky, I don't know, like beigey pink, which is kind of what I thought that it was going to be. It's more of a actually like rich, milky peach. So when I put it on and then I rub my lips together, it pushes a line of lip gloss up over the ridge of my top lip. And that line is like dark, milky peach and a totally different color from my skin and a totally different color from the way that my lips look with a thin layer of the gloss on them. And it looks super weird. And I've tried it. I tried it a number of times yesterday evening after it arrived. And then I tried it again this morning and I kept hoping that once it settled and I like blurred the edges with my finger, that would stop happening. And then every time I looked in the mirror, I could see that weird milky line there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna apply it right now. So that's the color, and on the lips, I actually think it looks very pretty and is exactly what I was hoping it would be, right on the lip right there. So if that were going to be it, that would be fine. Like, I would love that. I love the way that this looks, but I haven't rubbed my lips together yet. And of course, as soon as you apply a lip gloss, you do that. If I lean in, I feel like it's going to be too bright because of the light. So what I'll try to do is to like cut to a close-up right now, and I'm editing, and hopefully you'll be able to see what it is I'm talking about that I don't like. I think that there's also a chance that because the beauty lights really tend to like smooth and brighten and clarify everything, that you won't be able to see it, like the camera won't be able to pick it up. But looking close up, what I see is like, it looks like I've lined my lips with a dark peach lip liner that leaves behind a thick glossy line. Like it looks like I've taken, I don't know, like a paintbrush and dipped it in a thick peachy gloss and traced the outline of my lips with it in the way that you would with a lip liner, but then I haven't filled in my lips with it. Because when I rub my lips together, it makes the coating that's on my actual lips thinner, and it pushes it to the edges and it makes the line around my lips thicker. And I just don't think that I'm gonna feel good about always wearing that, like putting that on my lips on no makeup days, on makeup days. And maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe this is like a psychological thing and I'll get over it. And frankly, it looks perfectly fine, I think, on camera, and it will probably look good mixed with lipsticks and layered over things. If it's mixed with a lipstick or it's laid on a lipstick, then my lips will have pigment on them, and the line around my lips will also have pigment on it, so it won't have this kind of like weird two-toned thing. I didn't fall immediately head over heels in love with both of these colors the way that I expected to. It feels like a plumping. Maybe I just need to wear more, or maybe I just need to wear less. Maybe I just haven't learned enough about it because I only just got it yesterday. Anyway, I'm not sad. I'm not sad or mad. I'm not even disappointed, because it's like this. It's so rare for me to like buy a new makeup product that I want for myself, to have it be casual, to take a risk, to do it on a lark, and to not have it come out quite how I expected to is so beyond okay with me. Like, it's just, I'm really, really happy that that's like the drama like in my spending life. And then the last item, the other thing that I bought for a self-sponsored review. So the part of this purchase that went towards this product technically came out of my channel budget. Like, I will be reimbursed for it from my channel budget. This isn't something that I've been like burning to review and that like everyone's been clamoring for me to review. I just saw it on the Sephora website. I've been thinking more about this niche for me of like base products, full face products, so foundation type products or BBC or CC creams that claim to be very skin-like and glowy, because that's what I like, and that seem to go light enough for someone who's very pale and neutral. I feel like that is the type of product that I would like to try when I see it. And I recently have done that with the Say Beauty one, with the Morphe 2 Hint Skin Tint. And I've been thinking about trying some other base products like this that are more of like a skin-like. It has the claims of being skin-like, and it's unclear whether or not the lightest shade is like light enough for someone like me. So I've been thinking about actively incorporating that as like a facet of what I do continually here on my channel. And this seemed like a good way to continue to do that, because it's a pretty inexpensive product. It's from the Sephora brand. And I'm so impressed by the green color corrector that when I saw this and I started reading the reviews of it, and then I saw that the shade range goes very, very light. And it was like, some of the comments were like, I'm really pale and this is too light for me. I was like, okay, I'll get this, I'll review it, hopefully make like a full dedicated review of it. But for the time being right now, since we're here, I'll tell you what I think of it so far, because it arrived last night and I played around with it, and I'm also wearing it today. Let me look at the claims. Okay, so it's the Sephora Best Skin Ever Long Wear Foundation. I don't think it's brand new, but I also don't think it's been around forever. I think it's relatively new. It says a medium coverage natural finish foundation with long wearing anti-pollution formula that hydrates skin for up to 12 hours and is infused with skincare benefits. So this is a little bit more of like a foundation than what I often try out or go for. I tend to like more hybrid products, but I struggle with tinted moisturizers because I feel like when pigment is mixed with moisturizer, with lotion, it can easily separate or get smeary on the skin. And I really don't like that look. So I'm starting to think that for my preferences, especially given how I use concealer, I'm starting to think of my preferences like to have a makeup product that's actually full or a medium coverage, like pretty good coverage, but then to use it in a very thin layer, like to apply it very judiciously. So the fact that it's a medium or full coverage means that it's gonna it's going to hang on to itself. Like it's going to hold to itself better. It's going to hold its own more when you mix it in with like a luminizer or moisturizer or something, rather than just kind of like breaking apart and being this sort of like mottled veil on the skin, which is how I felt about like the ColourPop Pretty Fresh hyaluronic acid tinted moisturizer. That was how I felt about the one from Say Beauty. That's how I've often felt about like BB creams and CC creams. And also those kinds of things don't tend to go light enough for me. This, for example, is way, way, way lighter in color than the Say Beauty, whatever it's called, the slip cover, slip tint. It is in fact lighter than it's too light for me. It's lighter than anything. Let me get my things while I'm back there getting my things. Did you notice this new bag in the background? It's from Teddy Blake. They offered to send this to me. And I was like, yeah, because I have been dreaming of having a little arsenal of bags that fit in those two spots that I could rotate out so that it could have like a different combination every time. The little bag that's been sitting there next to my Pollen bag until now, it and the Pollen bag are pretty much my only two bags. I have another small bag, but it's like bright silver and it's too bright and it throws off the white balance, so it can't go back there. And then my other bags are like, I don't have very many bags. I have one big red one that's also from Teddy Blake that I love, but it doesn't fit back there. I've tried to put it back there, but it just doesn't sit right in the shelves. So it's something I've had in the back of my mind to like switch out some bags. I've actually thought about like switching out some of Julia's bags because she has some really pretty ones and I think that they would really look good back there. But needless to say, I was so excited that they wanted to send this one to me because I've always wanted like a brown alligator purse. And as soon as I opened it, I was like, Miss Lucy called the doctor. Miss Lucy called the nurse. Miss Lucy called the lady with the alligator purse. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, this extremely pale foundation. So Sephora Best Skin Ever. I'm gonna put it on my hand. The bottle is beautiful. It's glass. The pump is really nice. It's like a very smooth working pump and it feels like you can very much control the amount that you dispense. It's just like it's a beautiful pump. Like the only pump that I have in my collection that's nicer than this is the one on the Auric Glow Lust, which is the nicest pump you've ever seen. We had to take a break. Joe had to change a battery in the things. And so while he was doing that, I swatched my things. So here on the end is the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. Right next to that is the Morphe 2 Hint Skin Tint. I'll try to, I'll give you a close-up in a second. I'm just telling you what they are right now. So you have a Sephora, Morphe. The third one there is my Makeup Forever, which is my brightening concealer. So that is the third one there. It's quite yellow. It's the yellowest of all of them. And then on the end here, we have the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation in 10NN, which is supposed to be neutral. It also looks pretty peach. So the Sephora one is like the most neutral and the brightest and whitest of all four of them. Again, we have Sephora Collection, Morphe 2 Hint Skin Tint, Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer in Pearl, and then on the end, that's the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. So if I were to apply this all over my skin in a thick layer, I would look like a ghost. Like I would look like I had a foundation on my skin that was too light for me. But today I applied it in a very thin layer over top of my green color corrector. I have quite a lot of redness right now. My blemishes are all healing, which is really great. So they're not that bad, but it's, pretty red. And there are some spots. So I rubbed the green color corrector in and neutralized some of that redness. And then I rubbed just a little bit. I put a full pump on my hand and then I probably used a quarter of the amount that was on my hand, if maybe getting close to a half, but it was probably a quarter. Rubbed it in like a lotion, like a BB cream. And my skin is a little bit dry right now. I think the worst thing that this could maybe do would be to pick up on some dry patches, but it didn't do it that badly with me. And I do have some dryness and I do have some fine lines and it doesn't look glowy. Like a lot of the people in the reviews are like, it's so glowy. It's like this amazing glowy, it's dewy. It's not dewy, it's not glowy. Like my skin's looking dewy and glowy on my cheeks because of other products right now, but it's also not cakey and it's not matte. The totally wild thing for me was that after I did that and then I went on to spot conceal a little bit, I looked in the mirror and my face exactly matched my neck. I didn't feel like there was this dark line of my chin Like I really got my skin to be the color that it would be if I like didn't deal with any redness and blemishes. In order to get that effect, I used thin layers of a product that really brightens up my skin because it's quite light for me. So I'll continue to play with this and use it, and I'll hopefully come back with a full review. All I can do at this point is tell you what my experience was this morning. I think that currently for me, the verdict is that this is a really, really good mix-in for me because it is so truly, it says it's cool toned. It says it's 03P, and I guess it's probably more cool toned than these more peach toned ones that I have, but I find it to be incredibly pale and incredibly neutral, and that's a really useful tool for me, and it'll be fun to like continue testing it and to give a full and thorough review. That is it. That's it. That's my little Sephora order. 4 replacements, 2 colors of the one makeup product that I've wanted to buy for myself this year, and 1 product that I bought with my channel budget for a self-sponsored review, all together in probably the only package that I'll be getting from Sephora this entire half of the year, maybe the entire year, who knows. The lip gloss is kind of, I feel like a little bit more okay with it right now than I did last night and then I did when I put it on this morning and played with it. And then it's like, I feel like it's starting to get, I feel like I might get some use out of it. I might end up not being sorry after all. Not like I'm sorry, but I might end up not feeling like it was a mistake in any way after all to have bought both of these colors. Only time will tell. I appreciate you for being here and spending this time with me. And I hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.